What qualifies you to be a U.S. Senator? You have 60 seconds.
Hi, good night, everybody. I'm running to serve Pennsylvania. He's running to use Pennsylvania. Here's a man that spent more than $20 million of his own money to try to buy that seat. I'm also having to talk about something called the Oz rule, that if he's on TV, he's lying. He did that during his career on his TV show. He's done that during his campaign about lying about our record here. And he's also lying probably during this debate.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I really don't know what to say. I honestly don't know what to say right now after what I just watched. I don't know how anybody in their right mind can believe that John Fetterman is in his right mind to lead this country in Congress, especially after this debate performance against Dr. Oz. And I just want to show you guys the highlights, okay? And I'll let the highlights speak for themselves. This is not funny. This is very serious. People should be concerned about this, okay? This is a conversation that has to be had, okay? We make jokes about Joe Biden, but this is not a joking matter. Roll the clip.
The May primary. Last week, you released this note from your doctor saying you can work full duty in public office, but you have not released your detailed medical records surrounding your stroke. Mr. Fetterman, will you pledge tonight to release those records in the interest of transparency? You have 60 seconds.
No. To me, for transparency is about showing up. I'm here today to have a debate. I have speeches in front of 3,000 people in Montgomery County, all across Pennsylvania, big crowds. I believe if my doctor believes that I'm fit to serve, and that's what I believe is appropriate. And now with 2 weeks before the election, I have run a campaign and I've been very transparent about being very open about the fact we're in use captioning. And I believe that, again, my doctors, the real doctors that I believe in, they all believe that I'm ready to be served.
Follow up. I didn't hear you say you would release your full medical records. Why not? You have 30 seconds.
No. Again, my doctor all believes that I'm fit to be serving, and that's what I believe is where I'm standing.
Okay, Mr.
You have made two conflicting statements regarding fracking. In a 2018 interview, you said, quote, "I don't support fracking at all. I never have." But earlier this month, you told an interviewer, quote, "I support fracking. I support the energy independence that we should have here in the United States." So, Mr. Fetterman, please explain your changing position. 60 seconds.
I've always supported fracking, and I always believe that independence with our energy is critical, and we can't be held, ransom to somebody like Russia. I've always believed that energy independence is critical, and I've always believed that, and I do support fracking. I've never taken any money from their industry, but I support how critical it is that we produce our own energy and create energy independence.
I must correct the record.
Just a second, Mr. Oz. I do want to clarify something. You're saying tonight that you support fracking, that you've always supported fracking, but there is that 2018 interview that you said, quote, "I don't support fracking at all." So how do you square the two?
I do support fracking, and I support fracking, and I stand and I do support fracking.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Fetterman. Mr. Fetterman, I will allow a 15-second rebuttal. He has specifically said you have not paid your taxes and that you want to raise taxes on Americans. How do you respond?
Absolutely. The Oz rule, of course, he's lying. It was helping two students 17 years ago to help them buy their own homes. They didn't pay the bills, and it got her paid, and it has never been an issue in any of the campaign before. It was all about nonprofit.
John Fetterman took a shotgun, chased a unarmed African-American man, and put the gun, apparently, according to that man, to his chest. John, you weren't pulled over by the police. They let you go. You were the mayor at the time. Why haven't you apologized to that unarmed, innocent black man who you put a shotgun to his chest?
All right. We will allow a 30-second response to that, Mr. Fetterman, specifically what he was saying, referring to the incident in Braddock.
I made the opportunity to defend our community as the chief law enforcement officer there. Everybody in Braddock, an overwhelmingly majority community of black community, all understood what happened. You know, they understood what happened, and everybody agreed that, and nobody believes that it was anything about me making a split-second decision to defend our community as well.
Why not apologize?
For you, Mr. Fetterman, Vice President Kamala Harris says the southern border is secure, yet we are seeing an unprecedented number of migrants crossing. Is the border secure? And if not, what would you do to fix what both parties are calling a crisis? You have 60 seconds, Mr. Fetterman.
Yeah. You know, I believe that a secure border can be compatible with compassion. I believe we need a comprehensive and bipartisan solution for immigration. That's what I believe. I don't ever recall in the Statue of Liberty did they say, take our tired, huddled masses and put them on a bus and use cheap political stunts about them. I believe we have to develop a comprehensive and bipartisan solution to address our issue here for immigration here in our nation. Now, we all have to make sure that everyone that works is able to, that's the most American bargain, that if you work full-time, you should be able to live in dignity as well, true. And I believe they haven't have any businesses we can't have businesses being subsidized by not paying individuals that just simply can't afford to pay their own way. So I think it's critical that we be consistent, and I do not believe in supporting the Supreme Court.
Mr. Fetterman, you are first, 90 seconds.
Once again, I would just like to say that my campaign is all about fighting for anyone in Pennsylvania that ever got knocked down, that had to get back up again. You know, I'm also fighting for any forgotten community all across Pennsylvania that ever got knocked down, that had to be made to get back up. You know, I've made my entire career dedicating to those kinds of pursuits. I started as a GED instructor back in Braddock over 20 years ago because I believe it's about serving Pennsylvania, not about using Pennsylvania for their own end interests as well. To me, careers are revealed by your real underlying values, and my values have always been about fighting for forgotten communities all across Pennsylvania.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Fetterman.
Wow. Guys, I knew something was wrong when John Fetterman came out here and said, call me John Fetterwoman. Okay, I thought that he was disqualified at that point. Guys, if I ever come out here and I say, call me Greg Forewoman, right, instead of Greg Foreman, I'm subscribed for my channel, right? I'm just saying, I don't think anybody in their right mind would change their last name to something like that, okay? But yeah, that debate, I tried to play as much as I could for context, okay, so that you guys wouldn't accuse me of, playing the footage out of context and trying to make them look bad. I try to play as many long form answers as I can. I'm not trying to make this video like 30 minutes, right? So you guys can judge for yourself. If you want to go watch the whole debate, watch the whole debate. But you notice I didn't play anything that Dr. Oz said because, quite frankly, what Dr. Oz said didn't really matter because it was clear that John Fetterman could not really articulate or put together a coherent sentence or thought consistently throughout this debate. And it was very, very, very tough to watch. It is very clear that he's still recovering. And all the leftists that went after the NBC reporter for being honest about her conversation with John Fetterman, they should be ashamed. Because it seems to me that she was right. That this guy, you can barely have a coherent conversation with him. That's the truth. That doesn't make her ableist, right? That doesn't make her a bigot. She was telling the truth. He was doing all that with the closed captioning. Now, if I recall correctly, the reporter said that she was talking to John Fetterman without it before the interview. So imagine trying to talk or communicate with this man without the closed captioning. Imagine how difficult that must be. Must be extremely difficult. I 100% believe her, right? Again, everybody in mainstream liberal media that shamed that woman for telling the truth, they should apologize. She's owed an apology. But they're not going to apologize. They're going to suck it up and sweep it under the rug and then try to lecture the GOP about who we should vote for and ethics in regards to who we vote for, whether that's the so-called attack on democracy, right? When we're talking about, making certain claims about the election that you only can't make if you're a Republican, but Democrats are free to make those same claims, right? Like Hillary Clinton came out and just made, okay? Or we're talking about somebody like Herschel Walker, whom, the left, they say he's dumb. Okay, all the things they say about Herschel Walker, if this was somebody on the right saying it about a black Democrat, they would swear up and down as racism. Okay, but Democrats can, insult Herschel Walker's intelligence all they want. In fact, you have Eli Mastal here who tweeted out in response to this Fetterman debate, says, sounds like Fetterman cleared the Herschel Walker bar. Don't know why everybody else is complaining. So this guy is basically saying, well, we had low standards for Herschel Walker. Sounds like he did better than Herschel Walker. And I'm just like, no, he did not do better than Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker does not have issues like John Fetterman. Herschel Walker did not have a stroke. Herschel Walker can string together coherent thoughts and sentences. He may have a stuttering problem, but that's not a mental issue. That's just a speech issue. But that doesn't signal that there's a problem in his brain, right? Again, John Fetterman had a stroke. That is a serious medical issue that he's not being transparent about. If the doctor is clearing you to run for office, show the medical records. You have to show them. We need to see the details. I'm so serious. Democrats love talking about democracy, right? But a key part of democracy is transparency when it comes to these candidates. And I think that American people, the people of Pennsylvania specifically, deserve transparency in regards to John Fetterman and his health. The same reason we deserve transparency in regards to Joe Biden and his health. Again, Joe Biden is obvious what's going on with him. He's just getting old, right? But John Fetterman, it's a little bit different. Like, this guy had a stroke. Don't you think that it might be unethical? That it might not be right to allow this man to run for office and to be a sitting senator when he clearly is having some issues? I think that's unethical. I think that is wrong. I don't think it's too much to ask him to step down and say, look, we just can't put you through this. This is abuse. The Democrat Party is putting this man through abuse in order to own the conservatives, right? In order to own MAGA, right? They're putting the man through abuse. They're telling him, no, run. You can be a sitting senator, even though he can't form a coherent sentence. Again, I can only imagine having a one-on-one conversation with this guy without the closed captioning. I mean, it must be like, I don't know, talking to Joe Biden, okay? I'm just saying. Again, this is not right. It's not right. And Democrats can't lecture anybody on ethics when it comes to who we should vote for or whatever, when they're putting this out here and saying, hey, we're going to suck it up and we're going to vote for it because we want to own the Republicans, because we want to keep the majority in the Senate. I mean, what happened to country over party, right? What happened to that? Because I don't think that we should have any leaders in this country that are not mentally capable of serving. Again, I'm not his doctor. I'm not qualified to really judge for sure. But the people that are qualified to judge, we're not getting transparency from them, from Fetterman's team, in regards to exactly what they're saying about his health and his condition. And that's a problem. That's a big problem. So with that being said, man, that was sad. I mean, it really was. I feel bad for the guy. I really do think that the Democrats are guilty of putting this man through abuse. Sometimes you got to help people who can't help themselves, right? You have to just tell them the truth and say, listen, you got to sit this out. You need to recover. You need to focus on you. And maybe you can run again in the next couple years, maybe 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, whatever, when you recover, if you recover. That is the right thing to do. What they're doing right now is not right. It's not right for the people of America, the American citizens, and it's not right for the people of Pennsylvania. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.